Good morning. This is Todd Coburn, and I wanted to introduce you to my book, Reflection of the Sun. In order to understand what this book is about, I will simply read you the first chapter called Moon Model. Imagine stepping outside in the wee hours of the morning. The air is crisp and clear, and the cold nibbles at your skin through your freshly pressed shirt. It is dark out, but not too dark. The air is really more of a blue hue, and the plants and trees cast dark blue-black shadows against the cobblestones under your heel. You raise your eyes to find the source of the shadows in that pale blue light, and your eyes widen to find the huge silver-white orb of the moon hanging low and full just above the horizon. Stars surround the moon like the tiny points of light from pinholes in a sheet of paper held up to the light. You catch your breath, motionless at the beauty and perfection of that silver light piercing the darkness. As you stand admiring the beauty of the effects of the moon's light on the terrain, you suddenly realize that the moon has no light of its own, and that this wonderland of beauty isn't caused by the light of the moon at all, but by the light of the sun reflecting off of the surface of the moon from far beyond your vision. The thought strikes that this breathtaking display is made possible by the moon being positioned precisely so that its full face is able to reflect the light of the sun. The result of this miraculous coupling of moon positioning with sun radiance is blue light radiating into each crevice of a darkened portion of the earth. That's when you realize that half the world at that moment stands in darkness, impenetrable darkness, devoid of light of the sun. Yet because of the moon's careful positioning, these people who would otherwise be in utter darkness are able to see dimly. They're able to see due to the reflection of the sun off of the surface of the moon. This simple fact of nature provides staggering insight into the role of a Christian in the fallen world. The God of this world has chosen to provide light to all mankind through his Son, who was crucified and died so that we could be cleansed and made free. For a time, the light of Jesus shone directly on the earth, testifying to God's grace and love and demonstrating the kind of love God desires for those who love and serve him. Yet, in the same way that Jesus reflected God's light into the world when he was here, God has chosen that we now reflect Jesus' light in this fallen world until he returns. This book explores those concepts. The chapters are organized into a little mnemonic. We just read the first chapter, Moon Model. Next one is Lunar Lesson, Sun Source, Light Lacquer, Righteous Reflector, Perfect Positioning, and Closing Comments. And I end with a poem to my grandmother. Sun Source talks about Jesus Christ being the source of light. Light Lacquer talks about us not really having any light of our own that we might add to Christ's light. Righteous Reflector talks about how we become better reflectors of Christ's light. Perfect Positioning talks about being at the right place in the right positioning so that that reflection will happen in the best way. And then Closing Comments wraps it all up. It's a short book. It's a quick read. And hopefully you find staggering insights that can help you to do better in your Christian life. Enjoy.